Look, I'm modest enough to admit when I was wrong. And man, was my prediction last week wrong. Chainsaw Man Chapter 99 seems to be pointing us in a completely different direction than I was expecting. One where Denji is no longer in the place of the protagonist, but instead an antagonist. So, let's talk about this week's chapter of Chainsaw Man. As always, if you want to be a part of a growing community, a link to my Discord is in the description. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to help a small content creator out by liking and subscribing. That's right though, Chainsaw Man Chapter 99 is still focused on Asa Midaka. As she wakes up, Asa recalls the events from the nights before, wondering if it was all a dream until she sees herself with the scars from the night before, telling her that it was not a dream. She tries to touch, herself? Pause. Before finding out that this War Devil version of herself is just a hallucination, as the War Devil is now a part of her. The War Devil informs Asa that she left half of her brain intact due to not being accustomed to human society. This allows it to blend in and find out where Chainsaw Man is with Asa's help. For that, it needs Asa to continue to go to school because, get this, it knows that Chainsaw Man goes to school with them. Asa makes it clear that she would rather die than go back to school, not willing to deal with her classmates. In her hesitation to go to school, she ends up meeting Hirofumi Yoshida. If you don't remember him, he's the dude who went toe-to-toe with Quan Chi in the first part, the guy with the octopus tentacles. The War Devil wants her to ask if he knows Chainsaw Man's identity. Asa refuses, and then the War Devil easily takes over and asks him. Weirdly enough, when the War Devil takes over, the scars from the previous night become presumably visible. I say presumably because you can't really tell who says those scars, but I'd take a guess it was Hirofumi. He does answer though, saying that he might be in the Devil Hunter Club. Then we learn an important detail. The War Devil asks Hirofumi if he wants to be her boyfriend, which he denies, and we learn how the War Devil's power works. It's able to take what it owns and turns it into a weapon. You may ask, but how did it turn the teacher if it didn't own him? Liking or being infatuated with seems to be how they are describing owning, which I could only imagine ends poorly for Denji unless he's significantly grown as a character in between these parts, or maybe just some weird exception for fiends and other devils. The teacher liked Asa, therefore the War Devil owned him, allowing her to turn him into a weapon. Back to the story though. The War Devil makes a deal with Asa, telling her that if they can beat Chainsaw Man, then it will return her body. Asa agreeing to the terms so that her life will go back to normal. Of course, she wouldn't have an issue with this. She didn't like Chainsaw Man to begin with. One thing I will mention though, in both chapters, there seems to be shots focused on showing us birds. Could this be the new Makima listening? We know she could hear through smaller life forms like birds and rats in the first part, and whenever it was mentioned, it typically showed birds flying around in the sky. Maybe I'm just overthinking this, though. The chapter ends with them joining the Devil Hunter Club and being paired up with Hirofumi and an energetic female who, to me, looks vaguely similar to Denji. It felt like a really short chapter this week, and it didn't feel like too much happened. It seemed to mainly be a confirmation of what happened in the previous chapter, as well as further details on the War Devil. But the hunt begins, and I am still impatiently waiting to see my boy Denji, if he's even in this series. I'll hold those thoughts to myself for now, though. How do you feel about Denji possibly being the antagonist of Part 2? Do you think that's the route they're going? As always, though, if you enjoyed the video, don't leave me hanging here, and drop a like and click that subscribe button. Peace.